Okay, just a few moments and we'll have the streams live. Okay, we're streaming.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see your names and faces. Nice to have you here, and welcome whether you are here with us on Zoom, if you are popping into the Facebook group, Conscious Conversations with Your Business, or if you're watching on YouTube and any other place that Paul has it magically streaming. Probably, I think those are the main three, right? Yeah. All right. Perfect. So, all right. So here we are. This is, I've been doing these videos in Conscious Conversations with Your Business off and on for over a year. And, but in terms of this series that we are now doing called Wellspring, this is week number 6 already. I was so excited about that because I don't know about you, but I am getting so much excitement and joy and really my own inspiration about sharing all of this with all of you. So I hope it's feeling inspirational and supportive of you as well, because this idea of Wellspring is it's a place for you as a spiritual entrepreneur or an aspiring spiritual business owner to receive some guidance, some support, maybe some new thoughts and ideas that you hadn't had before, maybe supporting your vision and really your sense of potential about how you can actually grow into having a successful, thriving spiritual business or energy-based business that is thriving in the right sized way for you. That's something that's so important to me, is that there's all this out in the world, and that's about having a whatever figure business, 5 figures, 6 figures, 7-figure business, as if we're all aspiring to those numbers of digits. And the truth is that not all of you are striving for that. I've had people in our Spiritual Business Accelerator program, they're just striving for their right-sized 5-figure business. Yes, there's some who are striving for more than that, but the key is knowing what's right for you, and not only what's right for you right now. And then as you get to that level of what's right for you right now, then you decide, is this it? Am I super happy here? Do I want to grow and expand? Or if I do, how do I do it? So I really want that energy of your personal creation, your personal alignment to be so essential in this energy of what it means to be a spiritual entrepreneur, a spiritual business owner, somebody who has an energy-based practice, to know that you get to make it exactly what you want for you, knowing that if it's supportive of you, you're going to be in this great energy field. It means you're going to be really supporting people optimally and not going for other people's goals or other people's ideas of what business should be for you. So I want to also go back to, which I love to remind us, a wellspring, which is what our series is called. It's an inexhaustible source of anything. Now, we tend to think of it as water, but an inexhaustible source. Doesn't that feel great? That when we're stepping into this realm of creating an energy-based practice or business, that we're actually able to create a field, an energy, a container, if you will, that can feel like an inexhaustible source. And that's my goal for all of us. Excuse me. Because as you've heard before, if you've been here before, it is time, and this is what I'm putting my stake in the ground for all people who identify themselves as light workers, energy healers, personal transformers, to shine from the inside out, step out, and reach your people, whoever those are. And then with all that you're giving so generously out into the world, that you receive so that you abundantly thrive on all levels, because it's time for all of us to stand up, be counted, feel our message, feel confident, feel courageous when it takes courage, feel intuitive when we need that, feel that place of our infinite response to whatever's going on there. So let's begin with week number 6. Now, last week's live began a bit mysteriously, and today is as well. I'm going to just toss this open-ended question out there, and this was the title. Today's mystery question to get us started is, are you doing this for your business or as you're creating your business? So I know it's hard to answer this question if you have no idea what this is, right? Like, come on, Holly, are you doing this for your business? What is this? So here's the real question. Are you using your spiritual tools, your energy tools in support of your vision, of your growth, of your creation, of your spiritual business, your energy-based practice, your coaching? Are you actually taking what you know and how you help people to yourself? Oh, and by the way, for today, I'm going to suggest that you grab a pen and a paper or open up the notes on your phone or on your computer, however you do that, because I'm actually going to be asking you to jot some things down today to think about and to open up to. And I'm also going to be asking you to chime in on the chats by typing something in at a couple different points. And I'm inviting you to do that whether you're watching on the replay or watching us live, because whether you're on the replay or live, your chats are visible. And what I love is when we're a community, we all see each other's vision, what we're working with, who we are, and we all get to hold that vision and energy for each other. It helps us feel less alone. So I've worked with many, many spiritual entrepreneurs who have this really big dream or vision for their business. And what often happens as I'm working with them is it's pretty obvious that this is kind of an ongoing thing from last week is there's this perception of separation between their work, their energy practice, their spiritual work, the way they work with their people, and their business. They forget or haven't really put the dots together always that since their spiritual tools are for their expanding energies, they can support you. I'm going to use the you now. Your spiritual tools can be applied to you to support your vision or for you to receive guidance on your next steps or getting confirmations, anything like that. So here's where the first time I'm going to ask you to chime in on the chat, wherever you are and whenever you're watching this, as I said before. The first thing I want you to do is bring to mind all that you've learned over the years. All of the energy work you've done. If you're like me, you've been doing things for a really long time. I know I started working with energy when I was in high school. And I'm a long way out from high school now. So start bringing to mind all of the things you've learned over all the years. Some of them you may say, well, that's obsolete. I'm not going to do that right now, but just consider it. Most people in this realm have done a lot. Raise your hand if you've done a lot. You've learned a lot of things over the years. And again, some of them may not feel relevant to you now. Some of them might feel very applicable still. That's okay. That's great. Yeah, thank you. Brenda chimed in. I've been at this for over 20 years now, right? And so like Brenda, like myself, probably has learned a lot of different things, whether you've read books, taken courses, read other people's blogs. I mean, you know, we're pretty adept at bringing in a lot of information that we're aligned with and applying them. But so bringing this to mind, once again, start bringing to mind all your spiritual tools. They could be things that you plan on or are offering to the world. And like I said, they might be spiritual tools that you've learned. Maybe you're not currently using them. Or they're things that you use personally, but you're not out in the world with as a service. So make that list. So we have somebody chiming in on Facebook saying yes. And just take a few moments. I know that when I was writing this script up today, what I wanted to share, it was interesting to go all the way back to high school and think of like, oh, I did that. And oh, I did that too. And my guess is that as you're considering this, you can open up to the idea of like, wow, I know a lot of different things. And celebrate yourself, celebrate your consistency of striving, wanting to know more. And as you're creating this list and you're dusting off your memory banks like I did, I'm going to invite you to pop into the chat. What are some of the things that you've learned to do over the years? What are some of these things that are in your spiritual toolkit or your energy bag? And as you share, what's going to be fun is let's see what we all can do here. We're all pretty magical people who've been very consistent in what we've trying to learn and the ways we've been trying to grow. And then again, if you're watching the replay, we want you to pop that in the chat too, because we can all go back and benefit from everything that we've done. I'm going to just pause for a moment, giving you time to type into the chat or type, just write it out and consider it. Looking forward to seeing what you all have to share. So Brenda says, I'm a Reiki master teacher. Intuitively, she does ancestral healing. She's accessed the Akashic records for herself and her clients, energy medicine with humans and animals, and an animal communicator. Isn't that amazing? Thank you for sharing. Look at that incredible storehouse of access and support that you have cultivated over these years. Thank you for sharing. And I know as you're maybe, excuse me, thinking about this, I'm going to just share a few of mine as I was walking down memory lane around this. So I've learned energy healing. I took a course in psychic development. I love tapping, and I learned that over, I don't know, 20, 25 years. Years and years ago, did a lot of dowsing with a pendulum and also with my body. I've done a lot of channeling, as many of you know, Akashic records, the universal sphere, Kundalini yoga. I mean, there are other things, but just like, it's amazing when we really take a moment to look at it, how much is really there for. And Brenda says she does tapping too, right? And so tapping something, some of you who know us would say, well, Paul, we haven't heard that you do tapping, but we do. We just aren't teaching it or working with people particularly that way. But I would say Paul too, but I do tapping just about every single day. It makes a huge difference in my life. And Adele says yes to tapping. And Adele, my friend here, is the one who I took the original class with like 25 years ago or more, actually, maybe. So yeah. So, and it's still relevant today. That's what I love about it. So many of these things, I want you to look at your list of things. And Genevieve says, tapping every day. Yes. Look at that. We got a lot of tappers here. And so that's great. So, and Brenda's also a card reader. See, muscle response testing. Thank you. So look at all this. And so again, if you're watching this replay, type in, we want to look and see all that we do. Now, this is really amazing. I get so excited about this because I want you to just really own all that you have at your disposal, whether you say energy medicine, whether you say spiritual tools, whether you say frequency shifts. Mireille says, life is so much easier when I listen to my inner voice, my intuition, and since I've learned Reiki and Akashic Records. That's so wonderful. Right. Thank you for sharing that. So here's where we get to the meat, if you will, of what we're talking about today. As you know these energy tools that you have, or the transformational ways that you've been trained, have you been applying those to yourself and the growth of your business to support yourself? Are you including yourself and your business in all these beautiful things that you know how to do? Because are you supporting yourself with the tools that you already have? Giving everyone a moment to pause with that, because I've worked with spiritual entrepreneurs over the years. And the truth is, it's not uncommon for us to forget to use our gifts, our talents, our cultivated abilities for ourselves and our business. It's like we shift into this different expectation or mindset when we begin to consider our business. It's like, oh, it's over there. And that kind of reflects back to what we were talking about last week, that it's all spiritual. You can start bringing your awareness, your tools to yourself, to your business, to create the shifts, support your vision. So, because we don't want to have this divide that comes in and say, well, this is what I'm offering the world, but I'm not actually using these same tools that could benefit myself and my business. And when we do, we have an opportunity, and, based on whatever your tools are, right? Whatever those tools or processes or whatever it is that you have that you are out there offering to the world, we can optimize our mindset. Think about what you have that optimizes your mindset, that keeps you positive or focused, whatever that might be. You can enhance your energy. You can get clarity. Any of you who are using cards, using Reiki, using the Akashic Records, using channeling, using intuitive guidance, your psychic skills, you can get clarity around whatever your next steps are. So, and all of this reminds me of that quote that's physician, heal thyself. And it's been kind of morphed over the years to be healer, heal thyself. And this isn't an admonition the way many people use it. It's the idea that we want to remember to use what we're out in the world with for ourselves. Okay, so I just want to ask you, how's that landing for you? Oh, so Glenn has chimed in. He's learned Reiki 1 and 2, sound massage, sound therapy, sound baths, card reading. Amazing. Sally says reconnective healing, card reading, mindset coaching. Isn't this great? And Brenda said, I've not really thought about it that way before. Sometimes I do, but not as often as I can now see I could. This is such a common theme. And this is part of this separation, again, that we talked about last time. We don't think about it. If you were your client and they came to you with a concern around their business isn't going the way they want, which, by the way, people can come to you whether you say you support people in business or not. How would you help them? So treat yourself as you would treat people coming to you, and support yourself with what you already have. Sure, of course, you may want to learn more business related things or learn more around that area. I won't go into that right now, but you have things at your disposal that can support you right now. Tell me how you're feeling about that. I really want to hear. So as I'm going to just go into this a little bit more deeply here. So depending on your skills and your awareness that you've developed with whatever tools that you have or practices that you have, you can, I know for myself, I'm going to just be transparent here. I know for myself, there are days when I'm super focused and some days when I'm not. Anyone else have that experience? Some days I'm like laser focused, getting a ton done, and other things, it's like, I feel like I have so much to do and I'm not sure quite where to start. And I don't have the focus I want. So that's often when I bring in tapping or I go into my Akashic records. Use your spiritual tools. So I use it for focus. All the time, I'm using all of these tools for the guidance and the support for whatever my next steps are. I use it for creating my vision, calming my energies, expanding my energy field to match the frequency of success that I desire. And I could go on. How do you use this, or what are you being inspired by right now as a way that you're thinking about, oh my gosh, I didn't think about this. So as you open to this idea, look at your list again and ask yourself this. What is it that I do? Or what can I do in support of expanding, growing, starting my spiritual entrepreneurial business using what I already have in this moment? How can I incorporate all of this for me and my vision of my business? This supports you on all levels. So you can support yourself mentally, like I was saying before, my focus mentally, emotionally. Listen, when we're on a journey of expanding and getting out there, we're going to have emotions get stirred up. How will you process those? How can you support yourself in processing them so your emotions don't create a roadblock and you can move through them with the understanding, ease, flow, and grace? Not a spiritual bypass, but to understand it and know that you have the capacity to process that way. Physically, spiritually, listen, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, all of that. We bring all of ourselves to our business. So the creation, the growth, the success of your vision, your dream, your desire as a spiritual business owner really incorporates all of this. So once again, supporting yourself on any and all of these levels ultimately is increasing your frequency and your vibration, isn't it? Which, when your frequency and your vibration is optimized, and that supports your positive forward movement towards your goals. I'm just going to check in with the chat here. I can see it out of the corner of my eye flying by here. So I get definitely and absolutely. Genevieve says, yes, it's part of the cycle of rest and work. Mireille says, good reminder. We tend to forget ourselves, don't we? Because as people who are out there thinking about how we can help other people, we tend to forget that we are somebody we can help and support as well. And Genevieve says, once I'm rested, I can and do use my tools, right? So that's amazing. So wonderful. And Genevieve's really talking about that balance too, right? That rest and work. And so as soon as she's feeling aligned and rested, she's out there using her tools, right? So I'm just gonna, while you're thinking about some of this, let me invite you, as you're considering this, what are some of your top of mind ideas, if you will, to what tool can you bring to what aspect or what area of growth or someplace you feel stuck. I personally don't ascribe to the word blocked. We can experience a block. I don't know that we always have a block, but we're experiencing a block. Block means energy's not moving the way we want or desire or feel it should be. But so the idea here is where are the sticky parts, if you will, I'll call them that, in your awareness right now? And what are you going to commit to right now? What can you do today? Can you do a card pull for that? Can you bring some of your energy to yourself to bring yourself into alignment with where you'd like to be if you're not quite there? So here, I'm going to just share while you're thinking about some of this, some of the spiritual tools I use to support myself. And I mentioned some of them before. I'm going to just go through the list more specifically. I use tapping, as I've already said, all the time on all levels. And related to business, it improves my clarity. It helps me relax. Sometimes I don't relax very well. It helps me with my focus. It supports my positive mindset. And I could go on. I use it a lot for my just overall well-being. I use the universal sphere, and the universal sphere for me, I mean, it does everything for me, but when it comes to business and my relationship to business, it really supports my creativity. Again, it supports my mindset. It supports me in holding a foundational vibration of success, which I love. And it helps support my embodiment of the energies of what I wish to achieve. It opens me energetically and positively to my highest potential, which is where I feel, my highest potential is where I'm doing what I know I'm here to do. I use the Akashic Records. Everyone knows I'm crazy about the Akashic Records. I use it constantly for myself as well as in my business. I offload my feelings to clear up my energetic space. I use the Akashic Records for inspiration and ideas. I use them for clarity, to make a decision. If I have a decision to make, I always use the Akashic Records for myself and in my business to support making that decision aligned with my soul's truth. I also use the business's Akashic Records to gain, again, perspective, ideas, next steps, supporting a mission and vision. So these are just a few quick things I do on a regular basis for myself and for my business. I'm going to just go back to the chat here. I love that you're so busy in the chat today. So I have a comment here. I'd never thought about doing a process on my business, my relationship with my business. Yes, I'm so glad that that's a new awareness for you. And I find when I'm using the tools, the synchronicities are off the charts. Yes, I love that. And we just have to remember to do it, right? We all need sticky notes everywhere. Are you using your tools for you? Right? And Paul is popping some of the things I've said in the chat. Thank you, Paul. And then we have another comment here. Forget too often to work on myself. I know, like, we can support ourselves just the way we're desiring to help others. When clients were low, manifested a busy week, and clients are flooding in. When I got I think when I got ill, I used tuning forks to bring the body back into homeostasis. I love that. What do you have that you can do for you? I'm so excited about this. So I want to hear more from you about this, and whether, chime in on the Facebook group as the week goes on. What are you doing for you? How are you supporting yourself? How are you bringing yourself into energetic alignment with your vision? And I'm going to just say one thing right here. We're often here and our vision is here. Now, for some of you that may look close, others it may look far. Here's the deal. We don't get from here, where we are now, to our big vision without taking small, aligned, appropriate steps. They may not be linear. Those small aligned steps might be a little bit circuitous, a little zigzag, a little swoopy, but we have this vision, we have this here. So use your tools to take the small step. What do I need to do today, this week? What kind of alignment do I have? It's okay if you're not jumping across the Grand Canyon here in one big jump. I know we want to, but we go where we're in energetic alignment. Support your energetic alignment to your next steps. There's another comment here. I use Reiki on myself several times a week to make sure I'm centered and full of energy in order to help other people. That's amazing. And I know I have a good friend who's a Reiki master and teacher, and I've talked to her about how you can use, I mean, if you're a Reiki practitioner, I'm not, you can use it on everything. So use it on yourself, as is shared in the chat here, to have yourself centered and full of energy to help other people. Apply it to your business. How would that look? So that you are not just there to help other people, but you're there to vibrationally align with your amazing practice the way you want it to be. Okay, so I have a comment in here. You're assuming we're clear about our vision. That's my current challenge. Yes, I know how to use all my energetic tools. I want to make sure my vision is clear. And right now it's muddy. And we will be talking about that on one of these Friday conversations. It's such a great question. And thank you for bringing up. Let's just talk about that for a second. How many of you, chime in on the chat, feel like, okay, a vision sounds great, but I don't know what it is. Like, and that's true, because if we don't know where we're going, we don't know if we're on our way, do we? We don't know what we're moving towards. It's like I often say, if we don't have a vision, it's like, let's all get in the car, let's get all our snacks and all of our comfy things and get all supported. And here we are in the car, ready to go on a road trip. And then we all say, so where are we going? We don't know. We don't know. If we don't have a vision, we don't know where we're going. So we don't know what direction to start. We don't know how long it's going to take. We don't know whether to turn right or left. And so a vision is important. A vision is important. So we are going to, we'll talk about that. Maybe I'll change next week's topic to talk about vision. How would you like that? There's another comment here. You can use Reiki on everything and on a situation as well, past, present, and future. That's wonderful. Use Reiki, use all of your tools on expanding your business right now. And another comment here, we live in such a changing world and each stage of life is so different. So what's next, right? There are ways we can work with that and ways to support, even if it's not a vision of that's big. If you know right what your next steps are and you know that you're aligned with that, then that creates some positive forward momentum. Let's talk about that. That will be an exciting topic to have, won't it? I'll change our topics for next week being vision. Vision, so important. How many of you would like to talk about vision? Paul says, bring it on, I say. Yeah, excellent. Well, I appreciate all of you. Thanks for a very lively chat today. Again, I know I've already said this, but if you're watching the replay, because I know so many of you watch replays because this timing isn't necessarily ideal for you, chime in on the chat. So I've another yes for vision. Let's talk about vision next time. And so again, our ongoing conversation, you're sharing, ask more questions in the private Facebook community, Conscious Conversations with Your Business. Paul's going to put the link in the chat. Paul, do you have that ready? Or do you want me to? You got it? Okay, I see your head nodding. And if you know anyone who is like you, friend, family member, a colleague who is striving to create a spiritual business that's sustainable, that's right-sized for them, please invite them to this group and have them join in. Tell them where all the archived videos are. And I'm going to just say that one more time, because I've had people asking me recently, where are the videos? In Conscious Conversations with Your Business, the private Facebook group, there are two ways to find the videos. Number one is just scroll back through the feed. Not everyone wants to do that, but you won't have to scroll back too far for that. The second way is when you're in the group, there's a menu bar at the top and it says media. Click on media. And when you get in there, there's photos and videos. Click on videos and you'll find all the videos that have been done in the group. So you can go back and rewatch ones you've already seen, or watch ones that you haven't seen yet for the very first time. And so, so thank you, Paul, for putting that in the chat. And anytime you want to watch the replays, head over to that group. And again, feel free to ask questions there. I love answering questions, and we all grow from all of it. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, your contribution, your participation today. It's been so much fun to be with all of you. I love you so much, and I'll see you next Friday at the exact same time, and we're going to talk about vision. All right. Take care, everyone.